And we are live on Twitter again every weekday at 9 a.m. Today we're talking about when will this all be over? Everybody's working from home right now, and we're wondering, how long is this thing going to last? How should you prepare your finances? How should you diversify your jobs that you're doing? How can you ensure your security and try to do what you actually like to do for a living during these crazy times? My name is Andrew Wall, aka A-Wall. Is that my name? I forgot. I'm going crazy over here.
It's so early, you forgot your name? What?
Perrin just cut in there. What's up, Perrin? And Ross A. Dillon is here. What's up, Ross?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. Literally sitting at home. Not a whole lot. So let's recap. So obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic. Obviously we're all stuck at home working from home. And the question is, how long is this thing going to last, and how long should you prepare for? So the way I like to think about these sorts of situations is prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And if we know what the scientists are telling us right now, they're telling us that a vaccine for this virus, at best, like a record-breaking speed for a vaccine to come out, never been done this fast before in the history of humanity, is 12 months to 16 months. And so that means that we're looking at the middle of 2021 before a vaccine comes out to knock this thing out. And obviously it'll take time for that vaccine to roll out, maybe 3, 6, 9, 12 months for it to completely eliminate this virus. And so we're looking at 2022 before, I think, based on what the scientists are telling us, where we can sweep this whole COVID-19 thing under the rug. Ross A. Dillon, what does that mean for you as somebody who is working from home and as somebody that needs to prepare for the future? How are you thinking about this and how you're handling your client load and ensuring your security as somebody who needs to pay the bills and also wants to do what you love for a living?
Well, I had to immediately go find a new niche because, like, all my clients were comedians, and I also do a hair salon, and I can't charge them if they're not making money. So, it's unfortunate circumstance. I've lost most of my clients, even though I'm still doing their work because it would be dumb not to. I just want to keep that relationship going. But now is the time that we've talked about this before on the podcast about finding a specific niche. So right now is the time to start thinking about what companies, what organizations, which ones are not affected by this. And one of the clients that I've recently taken on and I love, it's Cannabis Media. They do software for the cannabis industry. And because the conferences and everything are being shut down and closed, their software now is like prime time. Like, people almost have to use it to generate leads. So I'm lucky enough to be in that situation where I know a lot of people aren't. But I think the most important thing right now, obviously, these are just the bare obvious statements. Save as much money as you can. And and that's really about the only advice I have, because I'm kind of in the same boat as everybody else at this point. So it's really, I'm still searching for other niche markets, trying to pick up new clients and stuff like that. But it's a difficult situation for everybody to be in, to say the least.
I like that you're going after new niches and you're thinking about which industries will have opportunities or not. One thing to think about for everyone, and then I'm going to kick it over to you, Perrin, is a lot of workers that had to work in the office and have been working in the office their whole lives don't know what our audience knows. They don't know about social media. They don't know about graphic design. They don't know about video editing. They don't know how to remotely conference. They don't know how to live stream. They don't know how to use technology at all. And so the skills that you have just using the technology in your home office puts you head and shoulders above 98% of people out there that are in the workforce that are now at home being like literally giggling when they're on a Zoom call. I'm not joking. So this is like their first times ever being on like a video conference and stuff like that, and like doing it from home, and they think it's like funny and novel. Whereas our viewers that are watching right now, you're way beyond that. You got your giggles out of doing live video and be working from home out 10 years ago. You're a decade ahead of the workforce in terms of your knowledge of technology, how to use microphones and cameras and all this technology we're using from home now. That expertise that you have can be your advantage in these times, do not underplay that. Because Joe and Susie that have been working in the office for a long time, they're a total fish out of water working from home. And you can step in as somebody who is savvy working from home, used to being extremely productive working from home or working on your YouTube channel, working on your socials, etc. And you can really punch in there and appear to be and literally be more savvy than them. And that's your advantage right now. So I want you guys to keep that in mind and realize you're not at a disadvantage as somebody who's a YouTuber, a creator, an online business hustler. You're at a massive advantage now. Now everybody, like we've been telling you for years, now has to play catch up with you and your skills. That's something that's, I think, phenomenal about this situation for everybody who's been kind of ahead of the curve. So Perrin, how are you thinking about this? Are you trying to build up as large of as you can of a cash holding right now and kind of trying to ride out the storm? Are you letting it loose and you're going to the slots?
Well, some context here on how the virus is affecting my area. So I'm in rural central Pennsylvania, and it's taken a while to get here. Actually, we were probably like one of the last spots in our state to start getting COVID-19 cases. We're up to about 11 now, 0 deaths so far, and it's going to keep growing. So like I've been in quarantine already for as long as everybody else has. But it really hasn't gotten here until now. So it's going to, for me, I can already tell it's going to be so much longer. Like it's definitely going to be through the summer, and it's definitely going into next year. So for me, my first goal was to make sure that I have what I always call my safety net. And a safety net can consist of multiple things, but mostly it's financial. What is your financial, amount of money that you don't spend, that you have like in a vault? I mean, mine's in a bank account, but in a savings account but I won't touch for any reason except for emergencies, like a medical emergency, like a world crisis. If something really serious happens, if something happens with my 8-year-old daughter that I need to help out with, so I save up. I try to get it to 20,000 or so, and obviously that's subjective to everyone else's situation, but that's just what my personal one is. And really that's a pretty small safety net, because if I were to hit like a big medical bill, that's not even going to begin to cover it. But I try to do that. So if I have like no work and I can't find any clients for multiple months, I've got money that I can use in that emergency situation. Now, once I have that built up, and I actually do have that built up, so I have that foundation to start with. Safety net can also be things like family or friends who can help support you. Let's say like I'm not able to pay the mortgage on my house or something and I get evicted, which during this time I don't think would happen as likely, but let's just say it does. Are there places and people that that you can go? Who are your people safety net? Who are your friends and family that will help support you in a time of need? So make sure you have that safety net. It's really important, and make sure you protect it with money, with assets, with time, and focus on making sure you have that from the get-go. How do you get that? Work online. So you provided a lot of tips here, and I like what you're talking about, Ross, about finding a niche. And one of the niches right now, that niches is a word, is
it's a word. Education. Niches is a word. So, it's good. You're good. You're good.
It just sounds weird coming out of my mouth. Is online education. So one of the things, I've been doing social media management, marketing type work for so many years. And more than 8 years ago, I was getting into online education a little bit, and then I kind of got out of it. But right now is a great time to get back into it. So here's an example. Go to udemy.com, and every new account right now on that site has a huge discount for new courses, because that business recognizes that right now, hey, everybody's at home, and you've got a lot of new people at home for the first time trying to figure out, how do I work? And one of the ways to get those skills is to educate yourself. And so most of the courses on Udemy and a lot of other educational course type sites are very, very cheap right now. I'm talking like $10.
Yeah, like these $200 courses drop down to like $9.99. So on Udemy, we noticed that recently. We were like, we don't want to buy these courses. We were doing some research, and then the next day they were $9. So when they dropped to $9, just grab up like 5 of them.
They've been like that price consistently. And even if Udemy stops running their deal, which they only did for like a day so far, most of the instructors have you can do coupons as an instructor on that platform where you can issue your course out for free or for a very, very reduced price. So many instructors are recognizing during this time, hey, courses are important. People continuing to learn things online and continuing to improve themselves as individuals during this time is actually a great thing to do while you're stuck at home in quarantine. You're improving yourself. You're learning skills that can be applicable to working online and making more money. So you don't have this feeling where you're stuck inside and your life isn't progressing. Use the time to learn, go back to school, right? So that has been a huge niche, I think, that's going to be there and be strong for a while. And if you aren't looking at those type of courses and that type of thing right now, I definitely would highly recommend going to and just looking through what these different sites have to offer. You can start at Udemy. They're not paying me to say this. I just started testing their platform and I wanted to learn it, so I know a little bit about it right now. So learning that platform for myself, from what I'm learning, I'm also learning other freelancing platforms. I've been getting into Upwork.com, which is one I just have some preliminary experience there. But I'm trying to learn how to make it from zero to something on that platform and get some clients there. And yeah, I mean, diversify my client portfolio. So I'm not relying on just one. That can be risky. And making sure that safety net is strong.
That totally makes sense. And for all of you out there that are wondering, and I was discussing this with one of my clients recently yesterday, talking about what is a good investment right now in terms of education. And we were talking about physical colleges versus online education right now. And I think that, and I don't think this is a crazy prediction, but colleges aren't going to be doing so good this next semester or the following semester. And you might not actually be able to physically go to the college. No joke. I mean, are they really going to pack 300-400 people in a room when we don't have a vaccine to a killer deadly virus? No. And so if you're considering registering for college for the following semester, a physical regular college, be careful. Maybe rethink that decision and maybe think about pursuing other forms of education in the meantime before you end up dropping $60K, $50K, $40K, whatever it is for a semester or a year of physical regular college, because you probably aren't going to get that full experience. You probably aren't going to be able to go to a classroom. You certainly aren't going to be able to have a normal college experience where they have stadiums full of people for sports games and what have you. That's not going to happen this semester. That's not going to happen this year. That's my personal prediction. But if we don't have a vaccine for a killer virus, they certainly are not going to be packing tens of thousands of people in a stadium. So think about that. Do you want to be dropping that mega investment into regular college, physical colleges, old school colleges right now? Or do you maybe want to drop, I don't know, $1,000, couple $1,000 into some online courses, some online education, and maybe doing some internet hustle to learn some real life skills and to get some real tangible skills you can use today until this whole thing blows over, maybe in 2021, maybe 2022. Think about it. Going into debt, massive debt today, is that really a good decision? I mean, I don't want to knock college. College, obviously, there's statistics to show that if you go to college, you have better outcomes in terms of your earnings, of course. But at the end of the day, is this the best time to go to college? I would say absolutely not. This is the worst time to go to college ever. It's never been more expensive. You'll get the least amount of benefit from it ever right now. And so you may want to hit the pause button on that. Guess what? You've got the rest of your life to go to college. It's going to be okay. So don't go hundreds of thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars into debt to get a piece of education that isn't even going to deliver for you. I think a lot of physical colleges are going to end up doing online course versions of their college, but charging you the physical college premium for that. Whereas instead, if you went to an online e-learning university or you did online e-learning courses, you could be paying a couple $100s for an online course versus thousands from a physical college like a state university. So I would say, don't commit your money right now. Don't even plan on that right now. And I would say, stand by in terms of going to college in the fall semester. And I would also say be careful and think about standby for spring semester with college too. What do you guys think? Am I being too cautious here? I mean, I just don't want people to go into mega debt and then to come out and us still be in a COVID-19 economy. And you know, how long is this recession going to last? We don't know. That sort of uncertainty could screw people over in a massive way.
Yeah, so as someone who has hired people before, especially in this online space, college degrees, they're great, don't get me wrong, but they are not something for me that made or broke who I hired. What set people apart, actually, if I did see that somebody took personalized courses, like they went out, they found courses online and they took those as almost like extracurriculars, those stood out more than a college degree. Like the college degree was almost assumed. And if it wasn't there, I didn't write that person off necessarily. Actually, I've never written off an applicant just because they didn't have a college degree. I would look at what they did with their time otherwise. So it becomes about what you can show people, at least from my perspective, as someone who was hired before. I know, AWOL, you have too. What can you show those people in terms of what you've done with your time, and what does that say about you, right? So during however long this quarantine is going to last, so let's say it lasts a year and a half, which is probably optimistic at this point. If during that time you knock out 10 different courses, I mean, that looks good. That looks good on whenever you can show that to someone who might want to hire you. Whenever you can talk to someone who might need to, they want to hire someone online to help them with a certain task. And you can say, hey, look, I've specialized in 10 different areas that are related to this. And they're gonna be like, yeah, I'll take that. I don't care about a college degree at that point. I want someone who knows this specific thing, right? So college degrees are so general that you don't really get that. When you're online and you're trying to look for a consultant, you're normally looking for someone to fulfill a specific role and do a specific task. And if you have a certification within doing that thing specific, that's all you need. And then you just need to be able to like sell yourself and prove that you can do the job at that point. So then it's just the interview, which will be online through a video call. So don't giggle, like you said. But yeah, so I definitely think that you should be looking at what constructive things you can do with your time, but you should not be making huge, big purchases that are life-changing. You should not be putting yourself under more crippling debt than you might already be in. If anything, try to cut and save as much as possible. I mean, I took all of my like monthly application subscriptions. I just canceled all of them. I'm like, even Spotify, even like iTunes and everything. I just canceled all of it. I'm like, nope. That's all done, right? I'm taking whatever I have now and like that, I'm going to try to make that last as long as possible. So my only expenses now are like normal bills. Obviously, when you're working online like this, internet is important. That's like becomes one of your most important bills because that is how you're reaching out and connecting with people in the world now. Luckily, we have the internet. My computer, which luckily I've got a great station. You don't need a huge workstation like we have. You can do a lot of remote consultant work with, an
your iMac, phone. I mean, you can do it with your phone or an iPad with a little keyboard on it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, you don't need necessarily an amazing system to do a lot of work. Like the work I'm doing now I'm basically building courses for a client on Udemy and writing emails. I don't need an amazing system. I just need to be able to download video files, upload them, and write text and send emails. You can use a laptop for that. It's super simple.
I mean, you could use a Chromebook for that. You don't need, You can do something with an i3, i5 processor to do something like that. So exactly. That's great.
So I mean, you don't need to invest a ton into your system working from home. However, over time, I would slowly upgrade and add to it because it will allow you to take on more roles and more niche opportunities because you have the capability. So something to consider over time is upgrading your work from home situation if you're really, really serious about that, which I'm assuming if you're listening to us right now, you are. So
yeah, that makes sense. And we only have a few minutes left and then we have to go take care of our clients now. But I want to cover the tangible things you can have to show employers that you are ready to rock and to show people that you are a hustler and that you're a competent person. Ross, that's why we hired you in the first place about, 5 years ago, is because we saw the big Twitter accounts that you had built and we saw the actual work that you had done online. We didn't ask you for a resume before we hired you. We didn't give any shits about what your college degree was. We just hired you because you showed us that you were competent through your work. So can you give our audience some ideas of the types of things that they should be building right now so that employers, when they're looking to hire remote workers in 2021 and 22 and beyond, and by the way, employers are not going to hire back physical workers the way they did. They're going to use this as an excuse to lay off millions of jobs permanently and move them to remote now. You know that, right? Everybody is now discovering, including the executives that are at home, that they don't need to have the millions of workers in their office anymore. They're about to downscale the shit out of every physical job. You know that, right? Like everybody's
100%. That's exactly what's going to happen. And one reason that they're doing that is because when you go from hiring an employee to be in office to a contractor, that becomes a lot cheaper when you don't have to offer them health insurance and benefits and things like that. So that's 100% the way it's going. And I'm glad you brought up this topic, AWOL and Perrin. I'm glad you added to it too, because I think it's important, first of all, to state that college doesn't make you educated. College gives you the opportunity to educate yourself or to be educated. Trust me, all you have to do to realize that college doesn't make you educated is go on Facebook, go to your local news station, and read the comments. That there right alone will show you, if you have a college degree, it doesn't really mean anything. But to answer your question, AWOL, what do people need to be doing now? One thing that employers are going to be still looking at is your social media, probably even more so than what college you went to or what your degree is in, because they want to know what kind of person they're hiring. So my advice is, if you pick out a niche, a niche market where you think there's going to be a good opportunity to work from home, that could have some stability even through all this COVID-19 stuff, focus your online content, focus your social media content towards that. Talk about, hey Norman, I hear the kitty. Make sure that you're tweeting, that you're making Facebook posts, like professional Facebook posts about a topic. Get engaged, start engaging with other people on social media. Twitter is a great platform for that. Start engaging with people who are already in the field. Start showing interest in what they do. Start, acting, not even acting, creating a passion out of it for yourself. Because when your future employer is going to go and they're going to look at your social media profiles, they're going to say, oh, well, this person's been passionate about this a long time, even before, we started hiring process here. And that's going to be more impressive, I think, than, anything on a college degree can tell you.
100% agree with that. I think we need to dive more into this topic in future episodes because we're very hireable right now, and that's not a brag. We want to teach you what we have done very specifically and very tactically to help you guys be hireable while you're stuck at home during this freaking crazy time. Guys, this is a great episode. We are live on Twitter every weekday at 9 a.m. at Digital Drop Pod. Come stop by, watch it live, ask us questions live, tweet at us. Let us know what you're thinking and what you want us to talk about and what you want to know about. We'll just straight up cover it on a future episode because we do 20 episodes a month, okay? So there's plenty of opportunity for us to help. We're doing this for free. We're doing this for you because we want to help you succeed in a situation that maybe you're not as familiar with. And if you want to check out the video replays of each episode, they're up on YouTube, Digital Drop Podcast. Just search it on YouTube. Video versions are there and on every single podcasting platform. Subscribe on the platform of your choice, from Podbean to Apple Podcasts. We've got it on everything, so you guys can catch this content in any way that you can, okay? We're here for you. We want to keep you motivated. We want to keep you inspired. And we want to keep giving you great ideas, but it doesn't matter how good our ideas are, and it doesn't matter how practical they may seem, and you might be like, you might have had an aha moment today, but if you don't do something about it, then it's worthless. So go do something about it, right? Go post a video of yourself holding up your phone, talking to your phone about your professional expertise and the thing that you're good at. Do it right now. Do it right now. I give you permission to do it. In fact, I demand that you do it. Otherwise, you're banned from watching the show anymore. See you guys. Bye.